All right, welcome back to Two Song Podcast. This is Chris.
And this is Cam.
And this is a show where we try to sort every song ever into one of two categories, either a love song
Or fight song.
Yep, that's right. And this is episode 107 of our show.
Yeah, it is. And the intro that you just heard is from Wrld. It is Cigarettes, which is the third track on his 2022 album, Fighting Demons, which is just from a couple months ago, middle of March.
Nice, yeah, so pretty recent. Dang, poor Juice WRLD, man.
Yeah.
Fighting demons.
Yeah, and singing these like really sad no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's a strange intro because it's like acoustic guitar, kind of like melancholy, and then him just vocalizing with like a little bit of auto-tune.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. It's kind of like hollow sounding.
Yeah.
And, you know, since he's probably made it pretty big, you know, there's probably lots of demons out there who can be fighting.
Yep, sadly, I think you're right. I can see that. Definitely see that. Dang. But not much of an intro. I mean,
Yeah.
it kind of like jumps right in.
Yeah, we're, you know, barely even, not even 10 seconds in. And about to get, I think what we could call a pre-chorus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the first, like, full word of the song, which is also the title of the song. So.
Cool, yeah, let's do it. Darn. This is like true emo rap. I mean,
Yeah, seriously.
and also it's such a, I think, kind of a bold choice. Not necessarily a good one, but just like, wow, to come out with an album in 2022 and be like, cigarettes, the first lyric. You know? Like, just,
Yeah.
cigarettes are so unfashionable. And I wonder, had they gotten to the point of like, there are so many cigarette alternatives, there's so many incentives to not smoke cigarettes. They really are something that, typically speaking, are from like decades ago. Is that why it's kind of cool to be like, cigarettes, you know? I hate to think of that, but I just wonder if that's why. Like, they've fallen out of fashion and been replaced by so many other things with stupid sounding names, and then to be like, you guys forgot about good old fashioned cigarettes. I don't know. Not everybody has, but I just don't think they've never been, I think it's safe to say, less popular than they are now.
Yeah, I know, and I think I'm still trying to figure out if he's like romanticizing them, or kind of the opposite. Because in the same line he mentions cancer in his chest, and I don't know if he actually like had cancer or anything, but you know they're definitely strongly associated with lung cancer.
Maybe he's just saying like he understands that that's the risk, or understands that that's kind of the effect of that cause of cigarettes. Yeah, it is, and I kind of too was wrestling with the idea that he might want to hurt himself a little bit or be a little bit like self-destructive. I think similar to the way that people will talk about and try to describe how gambling addicts like to lose. They'd rather win, but they like to lose too, because it's like, I just want to like feel it all. When I gamble, I want to feel it all. I want to lose some. I want to be tense. Like, am I going to win or lose? I want to win, obviously. I want the whole thing. It's just a multi-course thing to enjoy. And sometimes I think people that are really gifted, really artistic, are like, I mean, you know, I'm struggling with trying to show this person how much she means to me, but like, man, I'm living. Like, I feel this. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. Because I know for people like that, and I know that a lot of artistic people like either genuinely give off that energy or try to give off that energy a lot of times.
Yeah, definitely.
And to me, it's kind of like, I think the guitar changes a little bit here. I said acoustic earlier, and it might still be, but in this pre-chorus, it sounds like an electric guitar. And kind of just like a simple part, just like strumming chords to match kind of the energy of the pre-chorus, but the whole thing is like singing and guitar playing. It's just like this new genre of like the rap beat's gonna kick in, but like all this other stuff is not typically like what you think of when you think of rap.
Yeah, no, so far it does not seem like a rap song.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of like a particularly slow and sad like pop punk song.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I'm glad you said that, because I said emo earlier, but yeah, it kind of starts off, and even the way he's singing is more like pop punk, right around the time it transitioned to emo. Yeah, I think you're right.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know much about Juice WRLD, so I can't really like, speak on his inspirations or
Yeah, me either.
his style even.
Yeah.
But there's something cool about it.
I think so. I mean, I like it. I like this song in general, but up to this point, I just noticed things. I don't really have any critiques. I think it's cool.
Yeah, so maybe we should get to a chorus.
Yeah, let's do that. Man, this dude hung with the theater kids in school.
Yeah.
Like, cause you said pop punk, and the more I think about that, the better it is. Like, in this chorus, he does that part where he sings down quiet, and like his voice is starting to rasp and bottom out.
Yeah.
And it's still going when the really high part comes in.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like a real pop punk thing, is to like have overlapping vocals, especially if you have two singers, or so like good pop punk bands had.
Yeah.
And you could like treat the audience with two things at once and be like, oh, which part do I listen to? Like, when I sing along, which part do I sing along? You know? And I really like that. And I also like the quality of his voice, the tone of his voice. Like when he first comes in, and that like punchy syncopated rap beat is like propping up the song, like really kicking it up to the next level, and he's like singing. I like all of it. And I like when he goes high, I'm just like, wow, great.
Yeah, it does sound really good, and that's the part that the chorus in this song is what really sticks in my head. Which is probably usually the case.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing, gosh, this is weird. This is fun though. Anyway, you know how like pop punk comes from punk, which is expression over technique. I love
quality.
And quality. A lot of times, yeah, because they're like indie and they're getting the music out fast and passing out at live shows. But I love the way he sings more or. That's such a pop punk thing to be like, let me tack on an extra vowel because and there needs to be something there, and like, I wasn't one of those like took singing lesson dorks. I'm like a punk rocker, emo rapper, whatever, you know? I think it's so cool to like I said, rasp and bottom out, and then she'd be like, gotta hit another or.
Interesting. I was gonna say I'm not crazy about that. Just the extra syllable in there.
Dang.
I mean, I guess it does kind of fit and fill out the line and how it fits into the song, but it's a little strange for me.
The first time I heard it, I was like, that's cringy. Like, fit it in or it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
You know, if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. But
pick an extra syllable, pick more words. I don't know.
Yeah, put more syllables in front of it so that more is just more, and there doesn't have to be anything else.
Yeah.
I get that, but I also think it's just like a real style choice to be like, this is what I wanted it to sound, and it is catchy.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder what Juice WRLD's like target audience is if they're young.
I think probably so.
So then they love that. Like, dang. And he does it all twice. He does a double chorus. So they're like, yes, the chorus keeps going.
Yeah. More oars.
Yeah, more. Nice. What'd you call it? Yeah, I think so. I mean, I get what you're saying, because on principle, I don't like that. But in this song, I think it works.
Yeah, I think it's used well. Cool. How about a verse?
Yes, please. Yeah, I was thinking that.
It's a really sweet verse.
It is a sweet verse, yeah. I like that. It's not trying to be anything that's not. It's not trying to be tougher than it is.
Which is pretty rare in rap.
Yeah, it's just a genre that came out of that. And it's so weird, like the more you learn about it and like where it started and like MCs at dance parties, it very much did not have to be that. but it just like took off. It just fits so well.
Yeah.
That's not a knock on it, just something that I noticed. Like, you know, like old like guys in bucket hats and like Adidas tracksuits that went and got records and played them at like cookouts and parties and stuff, and then like then you have like again theater kids talking about killing each other and killing people and like whoa. But yeah, this is not like that at all. This is more that same like singing in a whiny voice, being sad.
Yeah. Yeah, because it is like really sweet and like kind of putting up this person in the relationship, the other person, except for the overdose part. That's kind of the hard reality or harshness that isn't in really the rest of the verse.
Yeah, I know. I wonder about that choice. Is it like what we all think of when we think of overdose? Because I don't technically, if you take too much, you overdose, whether there's side effects or not.
Yeah.
But like we use overdose as a euphemism for died of an overdose a lot of times.
Yeah.
So that is weird, but I kind of think it goes with the cigarettes. Not that you can really overdose on cigarettes per se. It's got to be possible, but we don't. That doesn't really happen. But just this is bad, toxic, dangerous. Shouldn't really even talk about it. Self-destructive, like all those ideas, you know. Like overdose, just a vice, like overindulging.
Right. And like comparing this other person in the relationship to those things.
Yeah. Man, yeah, but also there's another using the syllable again. Like it's like tagged on. Yeah. Yeah. Well. I know, I like this. And also tonally, it's like starts off like kind of with like a low energy, like just effortless rap. You know that kind of style that's like taken over or took over a couple years ago rather. And it's just like, man, hit record. I got like no time for this. I don't care. You know?
Yeah, like mumble rap, but he's not mumbling.
He's not mumbling, but he has that mumble rapper energy.
Yeah, and kind of the melody of it. Like mumble rap is kind of just like they had a melody in their head, so they're just like trying to put it on a mic, and then you know maybe there are some words that like tie it together and like have stories and stuff, but it doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah.
But this I can appreciate because I think his melody is clear and his words are clear.
Yeah, and just when you think like it's kind of gone on long enough, you're like, okay, and you're realizing stuff like, why don't I hate this? Like some people talk about it on mumble rap. Then he changes up. He's like doing like a falsetto thing, and then he's doing like a more desperate, more energetic like second half of the verse.
Yeah. It's a good point. Keeps it interesting.
Yeah. Although this pre-chorus and chorus are so good, like
yeah,
I'm sure he's proud of them. I mean, he should be. I would be.
Yeah. Should we just hear kind of it together?
Oh yeah, let's do that. Man, I think the more I listen to it, like the beat is subtle and the lyrics are subtle. Like, there are a couple peaks. I've been saying that a decent amount lately. But there are a couple parts where he really gets up there, and dynamically and just melodically, it's a high point. But yeah, for the most part, it's just kind of like soothing. Like once you get the parts down, the pre-chorus and the chorus, you're just like, I don't know, like it doesn't put me in a trance quite. It's not like trance music, but it's just a little bit like, yeah, I got nothing to add to this. I just want to listen to this and kind of enjoy it and like sit with it for a second.
Yeah. I think we said something similar about Harry Styles. Song a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
And it's like it's kind of subdued and simple that I think like we kind of figure out what's going on and we're just like cool with it.
And actually, did we say that about Lost Frequencies and Callum Scott too?
Oh yeah.
That like it was just something that you kind of like could wrap your ears around, maybe easier than your mind. And then the more you unpack the song, there's like a lot there, but you just, at first, it kind of sneaks in on you.
Yeah.
I think this song by Juice WRLD definitely does that. Cigarettes. It's like, I don't know, like, but to me, the first, like, it starts with the pre-chorus, and there's a part about cancer in my chest, like cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, that's like gross and medical right up front. Like, I avoid that kind of stuff on purpose. But then, like, it almost like loses its effect. There's so many other things in the song that outweigh it, and it's just like, and like I said, once you get the flow of it, the feel of it, you're just kind of like, nice, yeah, I could keep listening to this.
Yeah. And we actually kind of had like a partial chorus thing, and that was pretty hollow, pretty empty, kind of more like the very beginning of the song. But he's singing the words from the chorus.
Yeah.
And then I always get a chuckle out of I'm gonna meet you back at the chorus. So he's like teasing the chorus. I mean, he was already just singing, I don't want to be lonely no more.
Yeah.
And then P.S. Baby girl, you're so gorgeous. Like, oh man. And I like kind of chuckled at it the first time I heard it, and I was like, a little bit of a cringe, kind of like you said about something earlier in the song. But then now I'm like, no, that's cool. Like, I like it.
Yeah, it's like smooth.
It's working for him somehow.
Yeah, I think, and maybe like a little bit he's like aware of the effect the song has, and like while you're being kind of lulled by how good the song sounds, or like how interesting and like fun it is to listen to, then I want to sneak like something in here that's just for you. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to think that. Hopefully that's what it is.
Yeah, and this kind of like experience that we're trying to describe that's happened with the 2 or 3 of the songs that we've done recently, and this one seems kind of like a new thing, or at least it's something that we're noticing very recently. I wonder if it could have some correlation to like how digital everything is, and like how you can just snap it onto a grid, or it's even just like, kind of programmed into a computer. Because it's only in the last, maybe couple decades that's been like the way to record and produce music.
Yeah, I think you might be onto something though. I think it's that mostly, and then a little bit, people don't ever want to have in the future music that people can date in a millisecond. Like if you hear like Rage Against the Machine, that ain't music from yesterday. That's like, you can tell when and almost like where that came from. Or like grunge music or whatever it is. I think a lot of times, like now people are like, let's just make something that like I would hear on my like mom's 80s and 90s soft rock station, but make it for today, because those songs are still being played. Those songs don't offend anyone, and pretty soon they'll be oldies. So they went from just being like old-ish to oldies, and they'll just be light rock forever, and they'll be good. And it almost seems like because it's digital, it's so easy to do.
Interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a combination of those two.
I think so.
Gosh, well, if it works, it works. I mean, we could sit here and knock it, or be purist about it, or be, like bitter guys that only ever work at music stores. Like those that archetype of a person that's like, man, the industry wouldn't have somebody like me, man. And you're like, yeah, that's on purpose.
Yeah, there've been many yous.
Yeah.
Not yous. Or you.
I know what you mean though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's by design.
Yeah.
That time's come and gone. But so we're not being like that. It's like, if it does sound good and if it does work, then it does work.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure this song is a huge success.
Yeah. Darn. Well, should we move on? Hear a little more of it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Darn. That's like, some songs are like really like big and fun to sing karaoke. You know that thing? Like the verse is just the first verse again, and you make it bigger. The second verse is just a half a verse, one way, half a verse bigger and higher up. You know?
Yeah, and the lyrics I have pulled up actually call this the bridge. But it's so noticeable that he like just takes that same thing like up. Not quite an octave. I don't know. Maybe.
It might be an octave. I didn't like compare them side by side, but I don't know where else you could go and it still work.
Right.
And it gets pretty high. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I feel it kind of seems like they might have had to tune it up a little bit because his voice sounds a little different up there.
It does sound different. Maybe they did have to do that. That's a good, good catch. So it's the bridge. Is it though? I mean, it's so similar to the verse, and it's like kind of tied in. Like, she's my overdose. It'll make it to the bottom of this bottle. Like, to me, that's very similar.
Yeah, now we've done like, something that you could overdose on, and cigarettes before that, and now, a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it kind of feels like a third verse to me, but.
Yeah. I like that slant rhyme. Bottle and started. It's not a rhyme, but it's okay.
I was like, yeah, does that count as a slant? I guess it depends on how you define slant rhyme.
Yeah, but I think it like comes to the same place in the line and has like the same syllables. But yeah, it's not enough of a rhyme.
Yeah.
I don't know, this part's pretty simple. I mean, it's a little bit of a cheat that it's just repeated.
Yeah, and thinking about her all day, and she's on my mind always. It's kind of just saying the same thing in a different way.
Yeah,
and then he literally sings the same thing a different way.
Yeah, yeah, it does. That's funny. Yeah, darn. Well, I think we could, if we want to, move on from the section. I mean, it's.
Yeah, I mean it sounded good. You all heard it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get a lot like what we had before the bridge, which is like a refrain or chorus tease, and then a pre-chorus and the chorus. We'll just put it together.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I like it together. Cool, man. I don't think he just leaves us with that. He just like keeps singing that part, whether you like or don't like, just like over and over again.
I know.
It's a big takeaway from that, from the whole song. And I really like that as the part from the pre-chorus with it's like all, pop punk or emo guitar driven. Also the beat stays in there, so the beat's kind of like supporting that part. It's just they go good together, and this whole song is a little bit of that. Like, why would you do it like this? If it's a rap song, the rap beat comes in, and at the end, you have a blend of both.
Yeah. Yeah, which I think is really impressive. Really cool. Kind of like all these parts work together, but first we're gonna have them not be together.
Yeah, I know. It's like a neat payoff or like a neat treat to like, dang, this whole time they could have. Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, and we kind of get a fade too, and you know what he's saying, so it's not like super upsetting for it to, and it's a pretty gradual fade. It seems like it's almost like steps down, so you can kind of feel it stay at a volume, and then like it fades out on those I don't want to be lonely no more.
Yeah, but you're right. It fades out from a quiet place.
Yeah.
Rather than just fading out the whole volume, the full volume.
Right, and then I think the beat drops out in the last couple, and it's just that like acoustic guitar. It's kind of back to that it started with.
Yeah.
But it's pretty quiet.
Yeah. But cool song. I mean, I get why it's a hit. I get why people like it or find it catchy or find it addictive.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been surprised that I like it.
Nice.
Yeah. Maybe I should check Juice WRLD out.
Yeah. Well, who should go first?
I can.
Okay.
I'm feeling ready.
Nice.
So it's quite slow, especially for a rap song. And the beat, although it does come in with like some pretty heavy kick drum and more rap sounding, the song starts with just an acoustic guitar, which is super rare for rap. And it's also like a little bit more emotional and soft for a rap song. Which makes me wonder a lot about like if the rest of the music is like this, or this is kind of a outlier. But he's obviously like very into someone, and to the point that it's like bad for him in a lot of ways, and that he's like overindulging and like, you know, hyper focused on this person, and this is a bit of a reach and kind of just like maybe a projection of like putting them up on a pedestal too, and like, you know, and I kind of get that from the I don't want to be lonely no more, because it's like this person in the relationship, the other person that's not the narrator, is gonna like solve all their problems, you know, like, or at least the narrator seems to think so. It's like that's kind of another indication of it like not being particularly healthy. Although being lonely can be like, you know, tough and sad and not exactly the healthiest state of mind, but trying to like look for the solution to that loneliness in another person is also not exactly healthy. But I think like despite that like drawback of the relationship, because of like how obsessed he is, and that he's like overindulging so much, is like because he loves them. And there's nothing that stands out to me as like angry or I wouldn't call it upbeat or you know, any kind of like rebellion that gives me any sense of it being a fight song. So I have to go with love song.
Cool. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I agree. I think the way he made the choice to sing most of it, and the way that it reminds us of genres that really like were like party, parents just don't understand kind of music, or like, you know, girls can be mean music. That was like it. It was like girls are tough and my parents are stupid. That was pop punk. It seemed like, I'm generalizing, but not that much. And it's like to make a choice to have like those kinds of sounds, and then to have like a beat just like kick in the verse. It's such a cool choice, and like in a lot of ways like flip, like because sometimes a rap song will have minimal beat, and then the chorus like really tries to like dig into you and keep you there. And I like that he is open about like the way he compares the other person to a habit. I think that's, and not cool in a way like I support it, but just cool to express it that way. And obviously we talked about this at the beginning, but naming a song Cigarettes is kind of like, you'd like, you're the most punk rock dude of all time in 2022 if you want to openly advertise cigarettes. But I think it is sad, it's melancholy, it's emo, the rap is slow and low energy, and then at parts it kind of picks up, but for the most part it just seems brokenhearted, and there are specifics missing, so it could just be like, I just did this song for my female fans, like for my girl fans. I want to go on the tour and have to be like, oh my gosh, I love this song.
You don't have to be lonely anymore, Juice WRLD.
Yeah. And why not, you know? Like, but it's like great if that works and the song's catchy. Like, make it for whoever. Make it autobiographical or not. But I think all things considered, it's kind of like, it's exactly like, to me, when a rapper sets out to do like a love song or a ballad or a slow song, whether that's about a breakup or for their mom or whatever, and then it just has a little bit of emo rap, pop punk rap flavor on it. So, but yeah, I think overall it is a ballad, a rap ballad, and I think love song.
Ooh, cool. I agree.
Cool. Dang, that's fun. What a cool song. Like I'm like you, I'm like, I could listen to this. I could listen to more of this. If there were more stuff like this, I would be into it.
Yeah.
So let us know if y'all are fans of Juice WRLD. Don't smoke cigarettes though, obviously.
Yeah, seriously.
And we agreed on this one, but let us know if we got it wrong.
Yeah, please. And I thank y'all so much.
Yeah, sincerely, yeah, we appreciate it. And Cam, thank you.
Thank you, man. Good pick.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Of course, appreciate you.
And we'll be back.